What is going on, guys? Welcome back to our little P&B podcast. Today, we're going over again the week 4 matchups and our predictions for week 4. And man, week 3 was something else. A lot of surprises, especially with the 49ers and Vikings, seeing how Sam Darnold is actually a legitimate contender this year.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone expected the Vikings, out of all people, to be contenders this year, but
Right. It's only
But
3 weeks. It's still kind of early to tell. They could lose the rest of their
yeah,
games. Start 3-0 and
yeah,
then go 3-12 or whatever the hell it is. Or
yeah. It's like 17 games.
17, yeah, 3-15 or 3-14.
Yes.
Yeah.
But without
That would be funny.
further delay, let's get into it. First up, we got the Dallas Cowboys versus the New Jersey Giants. Giants coming off of a win against
Who'd they play?
the
They beat
Browns,
the Browns barely too.
and the Cowboys coming off a loss against the Baltimore Ravens, almost winning.
Almost,
Thank
yeah,
God they
almost
did.
coming back and winning.
Now, this one's going to be an interesting matchup. Both teams are, I should say both teams. Both teams, division rivals. I'm kind of leaning more towards, I want to say I'm leaning more towards Giants this time. I mean, they're coming
I'm
off a
I'm
win.
I'm leaning more towards the Cowboys, only
And what makes
because
you,
both teams beat the Browns. Let's put it this
Mhm.
way: the Cowboys absolutely beat the Browns 33-17 versus 21-15, and it's an away game for the Cowboys, and the Cowboys have yet to win at home, and their only win is on the road. So
Oh, I see. My reason is because one, let's be honest here. The Cowboys defense was at best lackluster
oh well,
against the
yeah.
Baltimore Ravens defense. Um, I mean, Daniel Jones looked like an actual quarterback last week. It was kind of crazy.
Malik Neighbors may be something special.
Malik Neighbors may be something special. So, I am thinking more. I'm leaning more towards Giants. I think they have just a better pass
Damn.
game overall. Um, I I do think it's going to be a close game. Actually, I can't believe I was saying that, but both teams being 1-2. But with the Cowboys dropping the ball and pretty much not really forming anything, and the Giants really starting to get a groove over the past 2 weeks, even though losing to the Commanders, scoring touchdowns and starting to figure stuff out, I'm thinking here for the Dallas Cowboys to be winners of this game. Or not Dallas Cowboys. The New Jersey Giants.
You're going Giants. Ah, I see. I just
I'm
find it
going
fun. I just
Giants.
find it funny that Jerry Jones came out and said we didn't sign uh Derrick Henry because we didn't have the money for it, and then again he torches them last week. No,
Oh, dude, he
he
absolutely burned them last week.
he's regretting his decision. He paid two of his best players all this money for them to not be winning games.
Yeah, honestly, I do think they overpaid Dak quite a bit.
And
And
it's not even like Dak was the problem last game because he threw for 379 yards. It's just that A, they had no run game, and B, their defense is ass.
so are you?
Most
So
of
you
most
are
of,
saying Cowboys?
yeah, last week I think all of our predictions were the same except for maybe one,
Yeah,
if memory serves. But we can start doing that.
yeah. I'm pretty sure we kind of got some of our stuff messed up.
Oh, last week was a dumpster fire because like
It was.
half of our picks were wrong.
Yeah, heck, our first pick was wrong for the Packers and
Yeah, no,
the Patriots.
the Patriots. whoever the Jets.
Oh, sorry, Jets, not Packers, Jets.
Yeah, people were trying to say Jets are Super Bowl contenders. I'm like, okay, they lost to a healthy, well, they lost to a fairly healthy Niners team, and they've
Yeah.
beaten nobody good really. I'll have to double check
Mm-mm.
that, but I don't think they've played anybody good. So
Well, we'll probably get over that once we actually get there. But let's
on
go ahead
to
and hit up
the
our next
Saint,
matchup.
on to the Saints.
Yeah, the New Orleans Saints versus the Atlanta Falcons. Saints.
Ooh, this is
Who
a
did they
tough.
face last week?
They played the Eagles, and then yeah,
That's right. Coming off a loss to the Eagles.
and then he threw
Um,
it. He threw an interception to lose the game to end the game, and that's
and
how they
the
lost.
Atlanta Falcons with a non-holding call and a horrible, horrible fourth down call. Don't know why you would run the ball like that, especially an outside route.
Yeah. No,
Um,
but my thing is, speaking about that no pass interference call, everybody's just like, oh, they already had like 3 penalties on them. That doesn't matter. The fact that there was a no pass interference call when that was
it
more
was
pass
blatant.
interference than the game the week before that against the Bengals Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, like that was a blatant no holding call, and I I do love being a Chiefs hater because I'm a 49ers fan, but I mean, still, I mean, like he literally hit him before the ball
Yeah,
even
yeah,
hit his hands.
he was hugging the dude, and that's not pass interference. But heaven forbid somebody hit you in the back, and that's pass interference.
And we're not even going to be talking about the refing and stuff. I think that's usually even for another video, just complaining about the refing this season. I mean,
Oh yeah,
it's only week 3, and oh my gosh, I'm already not liking some of these no calls and these calls for pass interference for roughing the passer, which was a big conversation last week.
right.
And I mean, well, back to it. Both teams coming off a loss. I do believe in the Falcons a bit more than the Saints. I mean, the Saints have proved themselves beating up against a comparable Dallas team, but we thought at the time, and the Falcons almost very closely win against the Chiefs, which
The
I
Fal,
think was 100%
yeah,
a winnable game.
the
I
Falcon,
think I'm
the
leaning on the Chiefs. I'm leaning on the Falcons a bit more here. I
I
just
find
think
that
that they've shown that they can do it.
yeah, I find that the Falcons could easily be 3-0, but I know they've had some issues late in games where they just can't finish.
Yeah, they just cannot finish, and
And they got lucky.
it's
They got lucky in the Eagles game that they were able to finish through and
hmm
win
I mean,
win
heck,
by
they're
a
even
point.
coming back. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I do believe that the Falcons can be a formidable team. That's why I'm gonna go Falcons again. Division rivals here. I think they're both gonna be playing their hardest for that first playoff game, for that first divisional game. I'm just thinking Falcons here. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you on that. Even though the Saints
I
put
mean,
up like 91 points the first 2 weeks, and then barely did anything last week, and
I
then
think they only
threw
put up 10 if I remember
they
correctly.
something like that. It was like a low scoring game. I do know that.
And again, I do believe in the Saints. I think the Saints have shown that they can do it. I really think that this week will silence a lot of doubters, but we'll definitely see. Again, Alvin Kamara is a real deal. Uh, Derek Carr, I always knew that he would be
Der-
good. He just needed the right team.
Derek Carr didn't hardly do anything last week. That's a reason that they lost.
Yeah, Derek Carr didn't do much. Alvin Kamara,
142 yards with a touchdown and an interception ain't great.
no. And, you know, I mean, again,
Considering their
it was a close
Rashid,
game, so.
yeah, and Rashid Shaheed did nothing last week. He literally had a fat goose egg in fantasy. Thank God I don't
Yeah,
have him.
we're about to talk about somebody in fantasy once we go to the Ravens, but we're gonna save that for next.
All right.
But I
L.A.
think in
Chicago, L.A. Chicago, but we're going
yeah
Atlanta.
yeah we're going. I think we're both going to go Atlanta. But yeah, we got the Los Angeles Rams versus the Chicago Bears. The Rams coming off a very big upset win against the 49ers. I mean, even though with that win, they are heavily injured and on IR for most of their star players. And Chicago coming off a loss against the Colts. It was what I saw. It was a close game. Um, I
They
mean,
lost
Caleb
by
Williams
they
though.
lost by 5, and we can't even talk about it being Caleb Williams' problem because I get he threw 2 interceptions, but how the hell does your team only pass for 167 yards and throw 2 interceptions, and then Caleb Williams throws for 363, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and you lose?
Yeah, I mean, Caleb Williams. I do think those interceptions are definitely an issue, especially
It's
with turnovers for the Bears. He is still new. He is still like just getting into the league, so it's easy to cut him a break. I really do think that the Chicago Bears should have this against the Rams. What do you think?
that's a tough one. I
Again, the
wanna I
main reason
wanna say I wanna say the Bears, but then again, LA surprise. Well, I mean, the Niners were injured, so that has something to do with it. But I it's a home game for the Bears. I don't know. That's tough because
It is
all their
definitely
games have
tough.
been close games. Like definitely, I'm not. I'm gonna have to agree with you on this and go with the Bears.
Yeah, I mean the Bears just honestly, I think it might just come down to health. And I really do think that the Bears are just healthier and more ready for this game than the Chicago Bears.
All right, on to
Oh, Chicago
Minnesota.
Bears.
On to
Yeah,
Minnesota, Green Bay. This is an interesting one.
yeah, Minnesota, real contenders. Sam Darnold really
Most
looking fantastic,
most touchdowns in the NFL.
and there's like a real QB. I did not think that in a
Six
million
hundred
years that the backup
six hundred and
would do this
fifty-seven
good.
passing yards, 8 touchdowns and 2 interceptions with a 117 rating, and basically a 68% completion.
I mean, pretty good numbers. I mean, considering that Sam Darnold, what, a year ago was a backup for the 49ers?
Yeah, Andy has 35 rushing yards. Not that that matters, but
Yeah, but like, Aaron Jones, Justin Jefferson, they have a stacked squad. And who they are facing the Green Bay Packers with Malik Willis, if I remember correctly.
yeah. Oh, dang.
Taking the
Jordan
help.
Addison is questionable. I need him to come back. Apparently, Sam Darnold is questionable, but
Oh, what
he's
is he
just
questionable with?
he apparently bruised the uh his left knee.
Oh, he'll be fine.
He'll be fine. He's supposed to play. Um, I don't know if Jordan Addison's gonna play this week. I know he's questionable, but it says that he is a partial participant in Wednesday's practice, which I guess that would be today.
Yeah, so that one's going to be definitely an interesting injury report. We'll definitely see if he plays. And with the Green Bay Packers being on a roll, honestly on a tear, I mean, this one is going to be a tough game. I really think this is going to be maybe even possibly game of the week as we've seen so far.
This is hard to tell because you know they're not winning games because of Malik Willis. I will say that. I know he has like 0 interceptions thrown, But playing basically 2 games, we don't really count the first game because it was basically the end of the game that Jordan Love
Mhm.
got hurt. So I don't count that game. But basically only throwing for 324 yards in 2 games, that's not great.
I mean, yeah, and especially just nowadays with it being a low passing, just NFL this year,
I,
at
I, I
least that
feel
we've seen.
I feel like running the ball is like more of like the strategy these days.
I really do, and I'm gonna be honest. I can't believe I'm about to say these words, but I
Yeah,
think I believe more in Sam Darnold than I do Malik Willis. I
yeah,
think
I
I
agree
think I'm
with
gonna
you
have to
on
go with the
that.
Vikings here.
Damn, that could explain why he only has 324 passing yards for Malik Willis. He has 114 rushing yards.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean that
Hmm.
still doesn't really like, you know, low passing, but he's not really proven himself to be that great yet.
Yeah, I think that he does. He has some good moments, especially he is, and more importantly, winning them games. You know,
Yes,
they
and
have gone technically undefeated with him at the helm.
yeah. At least he's not
So,
doing. At least he's not pulling Will Levis and finding more ways to entertain us with new funny moments.
yeah, with the oh no.
But yeah, I would have to agree with you on that and say that the Vikings are gonna win.
All right, next up we got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Indianapolis Colts. Colts coming off a win against the Bears. Um, I mean, I think that when I watched a little bit of that game, I didn't watch all of the game. But what I saw, I do like the Colts and what they're cooking up with, especially with Jonathan Taylor. I love what the Colts are cooking up with. I think they're a sleeper team. Pittsburgh Steelers, I mean, with them beating the Chargers, I can't say that they're phonies anymore. I mean, I mean, with
Justin
Justin
Herbert's
Herbert and
he's not really done any. He didn't really do anything last week.
no, excuse
And
me.
J.K. Dobbins, who have been running the ball really well the first 2 weeks, did nothing last week. So the Steelers' defense is for real.
Yeah, I do think though. I'm gonna be honest. They always were for real. It was always the Steelers' offense that was it, in my opinion, good enough.
Right.
I remember for week 1 they didn't even score a touchdown, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was all field goals. It was like 6 or 7 field goals, if memory serves.
So this one, I'm not sure because I want to say the Colts, but the Pittsburgh Steelers have proven me time and time again that are they are trying to be legit. They are trying to be them.
And Justin Fields had a decent game last week with 245 passing yards.
Which makes me believe with how Caleb Williams is doing right now that I don't even think that Justin Fields was the problem for the Bears. I wonder if it was that staff that was the problem.
I don't even know if it's the staff because he's been on different teams. I just think the Bears. I don't know. The Bears are an interesting team. It could be a situation with the Panthers where the ownership is not great.
And with Jonathan Taylor, I'm going to go with my gut here, and I'm going to go Indianapolis. I mean, I love Jonathan Taylor. I like the QB. I can't remember his name right now. Um,
Anthony Richardson.
Anthony Richardson. I do like him. I mean, I especially with the defense, DeForest Buckner. I really do think that the Colts have it here. As long as they don't mess up here, I think they got it.
I'm going Pittsburgh on this one. Not just because
Pittsburgh.
not just because they're my second favorite team, but proven how they played against the Chargers last week when I thought they were going to lose, and then they ended up winning by 10. Like, there's a lot to be. I mean, there's a lot to improve on that offense. But I still think they can pull it out. All right.
Yeah, I just think that the Colts. I think the Colts can pull it out more, but again, we'll definitely see on Sunday. Next up, Denver Broncos versus the New York Jets. Broncos coming off a win. I don't think anyone would have guessed. Bo Nix looked like a real reputable QB that game.
Yeah, let me look at the
I mean,
stats. 200. He didn't have any touchdowns, but 216 yards and no picks. Like, that's very respectable.
it is very respectable and beating a pretty decent Tampa Bay defense and an offense
Yeah,
as well.
Baker Mayfield shit the bed for me. I have him in fantasy. I think it's our league. I'm pretty sure that I have him in,
Yeah, because
but
he's doing pretty good.
He shit the bed,
Let's look at all my players also crap the bed. But
but
I
I still
mean,
beat you somehow. I don't know.
oh man, but I mean, he's doing way better than I think anyone expected.
Yeah, most
I think
definitely.
everyone, even us, expected them to lose that game. And we have the Jets coming off a win against the Patriots. That was a very
The
decisive
other two
win,
teams
very
that they've beat are
methodical.
the team they lost to is good when healthy, and the other two teams they beat are terrible.
Yeah, I mean,
The Titans aren't great, and the Patriots aren't great.
yeah, I don't think the Patriots are bad or like
They're
super
not
bad at any
bad,
means,
but
but
they're not. When your top passer for the game throws 98 yards, how do you expect to win a game?
yeah, I mean, it definitely was not great showing for the Patriots. I mean, I think they pretty much control. Yeah, if you even see the chart, I don't even think New England had a lead or a grasp on that entire game for the entire 4 quarters.
No, they played down the whole entire game.
Yeah, so it's just I'm gonna be honest here. I'm thinking here against the Denver Broncos, even though they surprised us against a decent Tampa Bay team, the
Too far.
the Jets defense is too good. They have Aaron Rodgers, they have Brees Hall. I mean, they have so many weapons, and I just don't see any great weapons on the Denver Broncos. They have more ways to utilize them on the Jets. I just gotta go Jets here.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you on that. I'm going Jets. You know, Bo Nix could play great and prove us wrong, but the way he's been playing the first 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks versus last week, he needs to put on the show he put on last week, plus more, and actually, to be able to prove that they can beat the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, he has to prove me as a believer, but right now I don't believe right now. Get it, because this is
Yeah,
gonna. Oh,
all right. Tampa, Philly.
oh my god.
Ooh, that's a
Yeah, the
tough one.
Philadelphia Eagles, Tampa Bay Bucks. Philadelphia coming off a squeezed out win, and Tampa Bay coming off a loss against the Broncos. Um, I'm gonna be honest. I think this game comes down for me if AJ Brown is healthy. I mean, you saw that they struggled last week without AJ Brown, and this week, if AJ Brown does not play, I think I'm gonna have to go with Tampa Bay here. If Tampa Bay, I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, even is Devonta Smith question? Oh, what does
They're
Devonta
all
Smith have?
questionable. It says Devonta Smith questionable is not participating in Wednesday's walkthrough practice. I'm assuming Dallas Goddard will play. He sat on my bench in one of my leagues. I think it was ours, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. And
Bro,
what's AJ Brown?
he's got a hamstring injury. Is not participating in the portion of Wednesday's walkthrough practice open to the media.
Yeah, I gotta say, I think with Devonta Smith now being questionable, AJ Brown being questionable, I think with Tampa Bay, I mean Mike Evans isn't injured, is he?
No, let me go double check that, cause let me check Tampa's injury side. No, I need the injuries. No.
Yeah, and honestly, again, I think this comes
Well,
down
some
to
of their
health
some
with
of
the
their key
receivers.
defensive players are hurt, but I don't
Mm.
know how well that means, because they could end up playing, so I don't want to count them out right
Yeah,
now.
jinx anything. But honestly, man, I think I just believe more in Tampa Bay, especially if Devonta Smith and AJ Brown are injured. I'm sorry, I think I have to go with Tampa Bay for this one.
Yeah, I see, that's a tough one, because like part of me wants to go Tampa Bay because I hate the Eagles, but part of me wants to go Eagles because the Bucks are in the Panthers division, so I can't just pick the team I hate more, because I hate them
Yeah,
about
it's
equal.
true.
I hate them about equally, but I think I'm gonna have to agree with you on this and go with Tampa.
I mean, yeah, I just think honestly, to both key receivers being out, and not really knowing their backups, I'm just gonna have to go. I think that they're just a better football team. And now next, a game I know you're ready for: the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Carolina Panthers. The Bengals coming off 1-2, coming off a loss.
No,
This is getting ugly.
The Bengals are 0-3.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought they were 1-2. I'm sorry, 0 and
No,
3.
no, because they lost to the Patriots week 1, and then they got screwed on the
That's right.
Chiefs. They got screwed on the Chiefs game, and then the Commanders beat them.
Yeah, I mean, Commanders. Oh, excuse me. Commanders was a definite surprise. Commanders being legitimate as well could be a question, but I mean, Bengals fans, Bengals, man, what are you guys doing? I mean, I think both of those games, the Chiefs and the Patriots, were very winnable games. I did watch a bit of the game last week. Last week, a couple nights ago. I mean, just wide open receivers, missed opportunities. I There were just so many things that are going wrong with the Bengals, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they've had this bad of a start since Joe Burrow has started.
No, I don't think so. Usually Joe Burrow's like he's not very great in weeks 1 and 2, but
Uh-uh.
the fact that they lost to the Commanders in week 3, which we
Yeah,
didn't
I
know how
mean,
the Commanders were going to be, and I get they only lost by 5, but like throwing 324 yards passing and 3 touchdowns and you still lose, like that's got to suck for Joe Burrow. His
yeah, I mean, Joe
his
Burrow.
defense let him down.
Yeah, it's just I don't know what's going on. This I don't think is panic mode yet, obviously, but I do think you got to be wondering what is the problem. And coming off with the Panthers, strong statement from Andy Dalton and crew. I mean, wow. I mean, I
And
get it was the
yeah,
Raiders, but
uh, yeah. It also
I
doesn't
mean,
help for the Bengals that one of their offensive linemen's out for the year. Out for the year.
yeah, I actually
So
saw that come across my
that
feed.
that doesn't help them either. But back to the
Yeah, it was.
Panthers, like we should have won by more because we were up like 33-7, and then we just, I guess, just It was towards the end of the game, and our defense wasn't really playing like great.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone was surprised that the Panthers, of all teams, who was expected to be winless this year after those first couple of weeks, turning it around. Now I do have a question for you, Payson. Does this mean that Bryce Young was the problem?
Oh, I was just about to make a point on that. I wholeheartedly believe, to me, I can't speak for other Panther fans, but I wholeheartedly believe it was Bryce Young's problem because
Mhm.
you see what Andy Dalton put up in one single game, and no other quarterback has thrown for 300 plus yards and 3 touchdowns in a game this year, and Andy Dalton did it in the first game he played. And he made this team, he made the offense look completely different than to what Bryce Young ever did. And granted, we ran the ball well, but like not having to rely on rushing the ball as much, and we could pass more. It just, the running and the passing complemented itself very well last week.
Yeah, and I think we even saw last week when we actually attended the game that just, I mean, they looked like they were even scared to really throw the ball at all
Yeah, like
with Young.
our running is decent. It's just that Bryce Young was not. He I know people keep saying like, oh, like he's not getting traded, but like if I was you, I would trade him.
So you're thinking that Andy Dalton should be the future starter
No,
for
he's not gonna
the
be. He won't be a future starter forever because I know he's like, oh, he's 36, so he's not. He's not. You know,
going to
he's
be
not
there
young.
forever. Yeah.
He's not young, and I think this is his last year on his contract. If we decide not to, re-sign him,
But I mean,
but yeah, the fact that he put up those numbers in this game.
I do think Andy Dalton has a funny opportunity to actually beat the Bengals, seeing that is his former team.
Yeah, that
I
was the
mean,
team that he was with for so long, and he didn't fail the Bengals. The Bengals failed him
yeah, and
because he was never that bad. It's just that the team around him always would fail him.
Yeah, and I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I honestly think the Panthers do have a very strong chance against the Bengals. But again, this is Andy Dalton's first start.
Second
You
start.
might hate me. Sorry, his second start. Well, I just say first start for the Panthers for being a starter. I I'm thinking though, even with all the issues that the Bengals are having, I think they're gonna figure out something this week, fix it up, and really start going after it. I really think, even with the hype of Andy Dalton, I really have to go with the Cincinnati Bengals in this one.
uh, See, like it's tempting to go Cincinnati, but the way that they've played, and you know, I get the Panthers played the Raiders last week, but the Raiders beat the freaking Bengals for God's sake, or beat the Ravens the week before that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
Like you
it's
don't expect to go
definitely
from playing the worst team that they act like, oh, like we're playing the worst team, we're gonna beat them, to the team looking completely different and actually playing well.
yeah. I mean, again, I would not be surprised if Carolina can pull this out, but I think I just got to go with the better. I think I got to go with the option with, especially really depending on how well the Bengals play, especially Joe Burrow plays. I do think that the Panthers will have this.
You mean the Bengals?
Or sorry, the Bengals, sorry.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have, even though it pains me to say this, I think I'm gonna have to agree with you on this and go with the Bengals. They're looking for a bounce back week, and I think this is the week that they can get a bounce back.
Now, I won't be surprised, again, if the Panthers
Yeah,
do pull it out.
I won't be surprised
Like,
if the Panthers win either.
I do believe that the Panthers have a funny opportunity to beat the Bengals, but we'll
Yeah, most
definitely see.
definitely. All right, on to Jacksonville, Houston.
Jacksonville versus Houston.
Ooh,
Jacksonville Jaguars. Or let's go ahead. Yeah, let's go ahead and start with the. Oh, okay, yeah, let's
Jags.
start off with Jacksonville. Jacksonville
If
also
Jacksonville
0
keeps,
3.
yeah, if Jacksonville keeps playing the way they're playing, wholeheartedly, they are not gonna win. They started off what, like 8-3 last year and have not won a game since.
Yeah, they have not won a game. Actually, fun fact: since Thanksgiving, I'm pretty sure they have not won a game since Thanksgiving.
Alright, if I could type. They finished 9-8 last year, which means
Oh, there it is, right there.
they beat the Panthers, but like outside of that, like I don't really count that because the Panthers were absolutely horrible last year, but they were doing so well, and the last team that they beat, like legitimate team they beat, was funny enough the Houston
Yeah, so I
Texans.
mean, I really don't even see the really point of talking about this. I mean, honestly, man, I really just think the Texans are just a better football team. I think they have a better coaching staff.
Yeah,
Uh, Even with the loss last week, I think they could just. I think this will be easy bounce back week. Jacksonville don't know what's going on. I mean, they lost against a comparable Sam Darnold, which now we're seeing that he is a real contender. I mean, I do
right.
think that they have it. I really think that the Texans have it.
Oops, I went one too far. All right, Arizona, Washington.
Yeah, the Arizona Cardinals
This
coming
is
off
a
a
fun.
loss.
This is a fun one. This game could
Yeah,
be interesting.
I
This
mean,
game could be very interesting.
I mean, this is the least amount of points I think this week the Cardinals have put up. I mean, every other week they have been putting up massive points against opposing teams. I mean,
Barely
especially
losing to
with
the
the
Bills and barely losing to the Lions. Like they have potential. They just aren't really
they
show.
are missing a few extra pieces. And
Yeah.
again, did not think that they would be second in the in our division, but I mean,
I
as
mean,
you see, I mean,
three of y'all are 1-2. So
yeah,
1-2
yeah.
means second place. Like that's horrible.
And then we have the Commanders coming off a huge win against the Bengals,
Right.
proving themselves as being a contender as well in their division. This is going to be a good one. I really still think that the Commanders are just a bit better than the Cardinals. I think I'm going to have to go Commanders with this, especially with Terry McLaurin. Even though it is an away game, I think that Arizona should lose this game.
Yeah. People are already making jokes that the Commanders picked the best quarterback in this draft class, and they're already clowning on Caleb Williams. And I'm like, most of it's not even Caleb Williams' fault. It's just his team. His team is around him is not providing for what he needs. Like, yeah, their defense played well week one, but like, it's you can't all
Yeah,
blame
these
it on
past
Caleb.
few weeks.
You can't all blame it on Caleb Williams for their fault for losing. Because at what point do we say that you keep throwing a new quarterback in there and nothing's changing? That says something about coaching and the
Yeah,
team
like that's
around
the
him.
coordinator
You
staff.
can't
Yeah,
rely specifically on a quarterback to change the whole unless you're Tom Brady who can play without good receivers. But you know, like a quarterback can't instantly fix a team.
yeah, and I understand that, and that's why I do think that Washington, I think, should have this.
Yeah. All right,
And then
on to your team.
uh, next up, the New England Patriots versus the San Francisco 49ers. Again, already discussed the Patriots about
Ooh,
how, again,
let me look at
coming off a
these.
huge loss, 49ers extremely injured here. I mean,
Let's
with
see.
Debo being doubtful, I mean,
Greenlaw's
like, just
out.
look at that.
Javon Hargrave is out. Debo's doubtful. We knew Christian McCaffrey was hurt. George Kittle should play, and definitely Brock Purdy's gonna play. How it like he it would be stupid for him not to play.
Yeah, and then coming off a fantastic game last week. I mean, even with the loss, with the coaching and everything being awful, I mean, if you look at Purdy's stats, I mean, he was 20 for 26 at 130 passer rating last week. He was unbelievably good last week.
Is there? No, I need NFL stats because I think Purdy has the second most amount of passing yards in the NFL right now, and y'all are 1-2. So it's like definitely
It-
not. It's not. It's more
it's
of
not an
defense.
offense.
It's not offense.
It is
It's
our
more of
defense.
defense play. Like only 4 touchdowns. Like that says something about the offense. But like 1 interception. Like that's not horrible at all.
And that was against Sam Darnold and the Vikings defense. Again, I think that our defensive coordinator is really failing us. I don't know why we picked him up in the first place. I knew that this was going to be a bad idea. I knew we would be in this situation.
You fired Steve Wilkes or something, didn't you?
Yeah,
For no reason, you fired him, and he wasn't the problem. He wasn't. I mean, rules are rules, and that's how things work for the NFL for
yeah, and I really
overtime.
think that honestly, us firing him has made us worse. And even though I want to say for sure that the 49ers had this, I can't say that with all out confidence. But I
Yeah,
mean, I will say that even though I just said I can't say that with full out confidence, I still believe in the Niner, Big Niner gang. I do think that 49ers have this.
yeah, and the surprise of the week that Jawan Jennings has the most receiving yards for y'all's team.
Yeah, which
He
again,
should be the one you're paying, not freaking Brandon Ayuk, who has less than half of what Jawan Jennings has.
yeah, and I don't know what's going on with Brandon Ayuk.
He got
I
that
mean,
fact.
he's
He
been
got that fact fat stack and said, "Nah, I'm not gonna perform."
pretty much. I mean, like again, like I hope they know. I hope he knows. Like, if he does not perform, he will be like have that contract being taken away from him.
Yeah, I wonder if he signed the contract just to play horrible so he could get traded.
I don't think that was it. Because
I don't think
again,
players would intentionally do that because if you sign a fat contract and then start playing horrible just to be traded, like nobody's gonna want you if you're playing horrible.
not only that, I mean, he even said that he would stay because the day of the trade, actually, if he didn't sign the contract that day, we were going to trade him to the Steelers. So again, it's kind of interesting, but I think I'm gonna have to go with San Francisco on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go San Francisco on this one, and I know we really haven't talked much about New England, but the way that they've been playing lately, like they got a decent win over the Bengals, who are which we thought was a good win. They're 0-3 now, so that really hasn't led up to the hype we thought it had,
No, and
and
with a
barely,
tough loss, go
yeah,
ahead.
a tough loss against the Seahawks, who the Patriots should have beaten. And then to get absolutely
Yeah,
manhandled by the Jets, which was a shock to me. I thought it was going to at least be a close game.
precisely. But yeah, I mean, they didn't really do anything. But I mean, I really do hope the 49ers win this, but we will definitely see. Next up, we have the 0-3 Cleveland Browns versus the Las
No,
Vegas Raiders.
Browns are
Sorry, that's right. They did
they're
win against the
one. They're one
Jaguars.
and two. They beat the Jags because
Yeah, I forgot they
the
beat the
Jags
Jags.
are.
Um,
I don't know. I don't know what the Jags are.
I'm I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I do not like the Cleveland Browns because of well, the man that won't be named, the QB. Um, I honestly do think that the Raiders will just have this. I mean, even though they're coming off a loss, I think that this is their rebound week and that they will pretty much bounce back from that loss. What do you think?
I don't know. It's hard to tell. Both of these teams, I think, are 1 and 2, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
both of these teams are 1 and 2, and I don't know. If it's one
I
thing the
mean, these are
Raiders are
the
for sure known to do is they suck, but they can somehow beat good teams and then come out here and lose to a bad team.
exactly, but I just honestly do think, especially with the next week being against the Broncos, I think that they'll be looking to push for a good win here. So I'm thinking that they'll probably beat the Browns.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on that one. And on to what could be another refs win the Chiefs the game.
Oh boy. We have the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers, known for charging a lot of things. Uh, I mean, blowing up big leads that they have. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not really sure about this one. Even though I hate to say this, the Chiefs are just an all-around, a more focused football team. They know what they're doing. They're 3-0, even though I don't think it's deserved. They are 3-0. They are doing good this year. I just
And
think that
I
with this
will,
momentum,
yeah, I will
yeah, I think
say,
with this momentum, they'll have it.
yeah, I will say. I mean, even though the first game there were penalties that shouldn't have been called, that should have been called in the game. Just Lamar Jackson failed the Ravens on that
Yeah,
on that game to win them the game. It wasn't even it like I get like the refs have had a huge part in it, but like when it comes to the end of the game, like the first game the Chiefs won because Lamar Jackson decided to fail his team. And the other 2 weeks have been because the refs are just sucking them off.
yeah. And again, I just don't like the Chiefs and what they're doing, but and it feels like the NFL is catering towards them. But I hate to say it, but I do think the Chiefs have this year.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on that. And
The
especially if LA if Justin Herbert is only gonna pass for like 100 and something yards. Like you can't be doing that to win games. But on to the final 3 games.
The final game of Sunday night, or final game of Sunday, the night game, primetime, Buffalo Bills versus Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore coming off a big win against the Dallas Cowboys, and Buffalo coming off a win as well against it was the Dolphins, correct?
Buffalo. Yeah, yes, Buffalo. No, Buffalo beat the
No,
Jags
Jaguars.
They beat the Dolphins a week before that.
Right. Sorry. That's right. It was a Monday night game. That's right. I forgot.
And it's
The
funny.
Jags.
It's funny. The only game that it has been a close one for them was against the Cardinals, and then since that game, they've only allowed 10 points from 2 opponents. Like, and they've put up a lot of points. So,
And at first, I was going to choose the Ravens for this game, but with seeing how they performed Sunday, killing the Cowboys at first, but letting them come back was very worrying.
Yeah, to only
I
win
mean,
by 3 points. It got up to like 28-6 in the third quarter. And we were just like, yeah, like Dallas doesn't have this. And then Dallas decided to start going off, and then they just didn't get enough time to get the ball back at the end to try to win the game.
yeah, and I just think that honestly, I don't, I don't know. I really just don't trust the Ravens to not win games, but to finish these games. I think that Buffalo is just more prepared to win these games and finish out these games. I think I'm going to have to go with Buffalo on this one.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, going Buffalo, and that leads us to Monday night.
Monday night,
Ooh,
the Tennessee Titans versus Miami Dolphins.
The shit game of the week.
Miami. Don't know what's going to be really going on with them.
Can it end in a tie? Because honestly, I don't see either of them winning.
I really don't. Both teams struggling early on, especially with Tua being out.
It's the quarterback play. That's why both teams are struggling.
Yeah, Tennessee being 0-3. I really don't see Tyreek Hill even doing much in this game. I think I'm gonna go with. You know what? I think I'm really gonna go out here, and I think I'm gonna go with Tennessee to go ahead and get their first win of the season.
That's tough. Let me. Yeah, and it's possible that Skylar Thompson might not play, but who knows? He's not great either way. And if it was me, I would rather start Tyler Huntley over Skylar Thompson, but I'm not the coach. I'm not the coach, so it's what they want.
Yeah,
they know what's best for the team. So like I feel like that Tennessee's gonna come out there and get their first win of the season.
Yeah, I just do not trust Miami right now, and especially with this weird pseudo thing. I really think if they get Ryan Tannehill, which I've been voicing for a while, I really think they'll be fine. Yeah. But and the last game, which I think this will be a really good game, the Seattle Sea Chickens versus the Detroit Lions.
The Sea Chickens. All right.
The Sea Chickens. Not really sure how they're 3-0. I mean, they have been destroying every opponent they've been facing against. Also undefeated. I mean,
okay, so the first 2 weeks, the Dolphins are ass right now. So that's understandable why they won 24-3. But like the first 2 weeks being close games, barely beating the Broncos and barely beating the Patriots. When it comes to an actual good team, granted, like, yeah, they're 2-1, but like, you know, Detroit should be able to come out and show them why they're better than Seattle.
Yeah, and you know what? I really do think that Detroit has this. I really need Seahawks to lose here also, so that's why I am going with Detroit here.
Yeah, Detroit's a better overall well-rounded team, and I'm not saying that the Seahawks are bad, because clearly they're good enough to be 3-0, and Geno Smith has been playing pretty well, decently for them. So like, but I don't watch enough to know how good the Seahawks defense is, but if the defense doesn't hold, I don't see the Seahawks winning that game.
I just don't. But let us know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you guys agree with our picks? Do you guys disagree? Did we overlook something? Let us know.
All right, bye.
Bye.